Okay, you guys are able to hear me well, right? Loud and clear, right? Okay. So now let's get started with our Monday gathering tonight. Okay. Now so year to date, okay, SPS have been up 1.14%. Dow Jones up 0.3%, and QQQ is up 3.35%. So in fact, all the tariff, the collection for the tariff in April almost recover back already. Okay, almost recover back. So as of now, in 2025, all the three major index are making profit. Okay, with a positive returns. And I'm quite sure that by end of the year, okay, I'm very confident now. Okay, I don't say I'm confident, I'm very optimistic that it should have a double digit return by end of this year. Okay, in fact, it should be more with the all-time high. Okay, but now you see, during April when we met up around 9 April, we met up around here. There's a major sell-off, and during the time I actually share some of the stock that you can consider to add if you do not have the position yet. Okay. Now, how many of you actually start buying some good stock during April and May? Since the April gathering and May gathering, I emphasize again, any one of you actually add some position since April until today at the stops. I'm not talking about options. Anyone? Who have added some shares? Say me in the chat. ETF, Google, Nvidia. Okay, okay. The rest? How about the rest? Nvidia, Google. Okay. And anything else? UNH. Very good. Finally, I see someone added UNH. Okay. Anyone? Any more? Since April until now, okay? During this two months journey. Not many, oh. There are only three response. So how about the rest? Google, SOTQQ, okay, very good. How about the rest? Okay, how many of you did not take any action at all? Did not add any position at all since April until now? Happily sit beside and see the whole entire movie. If you did not add any stock, add any position, say me in the chat. The option trading, okay? Now, as long you have take some trade, whether trading or investment, I think it's okay. But during the April time, because the it's still very uncertain of what Donald Trump is going to announce, so buying stock is more safe, okay, and less risky compared to option trading, because option trading is very volatile during that period of time when a lot of uncertainty. Only George didn't take any action. How about the rest? The rest do at some position. Palantir, okay. Now, George, may I ask you why you didn't take any action? Why you didn't take any action during the when other everybody know that we should be greedy when others are fearful, right? But how many of you really have problems, okay? Overcome that kind of emotion challenges. How many of you really have challenges, overcome that kind of fear? Okay, be really greedy when others are fearful. How many of you? Still got no confidence. Okay, okay. Fine. But after this journey, we should notice one thing, okay? No matter what happened, the stock market will recover. Okay, I've been saying that since April. No matter what, the stock market will recover. okay, and recover back quite sharply. Okay, so that's why during the ping pong option mastery, what's the major anyone still remember? Anyone still remember? What's the major more than 60, 70% make up the success of trading or investment? What's the factor? Anyone? 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 What's the major? Hey, don't throw back all the lesson to me. What's the three pillar for investment success? Three pillar. Can you name me the three? Three pillar. Anyone? What's the three pillar for success? Mentality, emotion. Okay, Cynthia is trying to say emotion. FA, fundamental, technical, patient. No, that's not the three pillar one. That's not the three pillar. I'm talking about the three pillar. The first day we went through the evening, going through the three pillar. What's the three pillar? Wow, all forgot ah. Jialat. It's not FA, it's not TA, it's not patient. Cynthia, the mention the mentality is referring to emotion. Okay, it is correct. Okay, emotion contributes 60 to 70% of the success. What's the other two? What's the other two? Must receipt. You can refer to the video lah, Ivan. Psychology, okay, psychology. Yeah, psychology is referring is the third pillar. Okay, contribute 60 to 70. That is for emotion. Okay, managing your fear and greed. What's the other two pillar? Anyone? Risk management. Okay, risk management contribute 20%. Okay, second most important, and the first one is the least important one is important one is trading strategy. That's correct. Okay, so the least important is the trading strategy, then followed by the risk management, how you do your position sizing to protect yourself from from being called away or go to bankruptcy, the account up to zero if you do a proper position sizing, which is risk management. But the most important one is the psychology, okay? Which is the whether are you really greedy when people are fearful, okay? Or are you fearful when people are greedy, okay? That decide whether you want to take action or don't take action, whether you want to add position or don't want to add position. Am I right? Now, if you do not manage this fear and greed well, then you will be sitting aside all the time. Okay, when people are fearful, you do nothing. When people are greedy, you also do nothing. Okay, so you are not doing anything at all. It's even worse. Okay, you see all the stock go down and rebound, then you regret. Then when you want to enter, you also scared. Oh, it's too high already. Then you fall down, you also so that's if you're not able to manage all these things well, then you're not able to take any action. Okay, then you will see all the opportunity goes by, and you are not involved at all. Okay, so just remember to manage all the emotion well. Okay, now how to really manage all this well is just keep in the community. Okay, just keep in the community and then really share the information you have with all of us. And then if you really have fearful or challenges, just speak it out. Okay, we can help you. Okay, like what we do every month. Okay, we gather. I keep giving you the confidence and booster that hey, stock market will recover. Stock market will recover no matter what. Okay, even though it may go down a little in June, July, but at the end of the year, it will still go up. Okay, no matter what. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay. Now let us take a look at SPS. Okay. Now SPS based on the technical chart. Okay, this rainbow color is a Fibonacci recover retracement. Okay. So after it hit the lowest point, okay, it actually passed the 38.2% and then it passed the 50%. Okay, and then it actually go above the 200 moving average now. Okay, for SPS. And these few weeks, okay, SPS is actually moving sideways, okay, within this purple color box. And it moving sideways and it's waiting for the breakout or a breakdown, either one. Okay, either one. So either it will break out of the purple box or it will break below the purple box. Okay, but most likely, okay, most likely at the end of the year, I'm not sure when. Okay, I do not have crystal ball. It will go break the all-time high, okay, or have a double-digit growth for year 2025. Okay, and we just want to understand another catalyst that will help us to achieve this goal. Now, in 2026, 4th of July, American will be celebrating their 250th independence. Okay, 250 years independence. Okay, next year, July. So actually, Donald Trump once take over the administration, they already start a team, okay, some organization to celebrate this milestone next year, okay, July. So in order to, so some of the government administration are already preparing all this celebration, okay. Now, do you think Donald Trump will let all the stock market down by the time of next year, 2026? How many of you would think that Donald Trump will do something, okay, and boost the entire US stock market, okay, up until next year, July, when everybody is happy, when the stock market is all-time high, and celebrating the 250 years anniversary since independence? How many of you think Donald Trump will boost the market? Very, 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 very likely, right? So from now until July, okay, there may be some short-term volatility or whatsoever, but the goal for Donald Trump will be go to all-time high before July 2026. Okay, so this is one of the catalysts he tried to manipulate and want to make sure everybody is happy during that time. Okay, so all the tariff, we now understand that all the tariff that the Donald Trump introducing is all for negotiation. Okay, everything will be paused for 90 days or as long as possible, just for him to have some bargaining power. Okay, with all the other country for negotiation. Okay, and in the long term, he will not let the entire things go haywire. Okay, when we reach the 2026. Okay. So now the SPS is accumulating, okay, and we are not sure whether it will go up or go down, but at the end, most likely it will go up, okay, because it's already above the 200 moving average, and the short-term trend is already crossover, okay, the 20 is already crossing the 50, and short-term is in the uptrend, okay. You can see the higher high here, higher high here, and higher higher, and higher higher, okay, and the higher low, okay. And also for this year, we are actually celebrating 129 birthday for Dow Jones, okay? And you can see Dow Jones is already since 1896 until today. So the stock is always going up, okay? Dow Jones is always going up. SPS is always going up. The stock market eventually will be going up, okay? No matter what. Okay, even though there's a short-term correction, but in the long run, it's still going up. Okay, So this is a key economic data for actually sorry, this one is June. I forgot to type the thing. So this economic data for this week. Okay, we have employment claim and so no far employment change. Okay. So this is a setup for the S&P 500. So as you can see here, for the consumer information and communication have been recovered, okay, very fast in the past 1 month, okay. And the healthcare is the only one still lagging behind, okay. The healthcare sector is the only one still lagging behind because it bring down by a few heavyweight stocks that is still still coming still crash, okay. Hated by the stock market. But that is where the opportunity lies, right? So this one is a market fear and greed index that actually monitor it since 9 April. So in the 9 April, we are actually at the extreme fear, okay, where all the stock are going down, and I actually share to buy some good stocks, okay, during the extreme fear period. Then after that, immediately 1 month later, it drive from extreme fear to greed, okay, to greed. And now because the last few weeks, the S&P is going sideways, it's accumulating. We are still around. You see the greed index is didn't change much, okay, because S&P is still moving sideways around the greed zone, but it's going back to the neutral, okay. So is stock market still expensive? Well, the trading P ratio for SPX is 25.9. Okay, it is slightly above the 5-year average and also the 10-year average. But is it by a lot? Not really, okay? Not really, okay? It's just slightly above it. So the market is not really overvalued as as of now. Okay, so this one is just some of the fact that the Magnificent Seven actually reported a better um growth, okay, earning growth for Q1 2025, okay, compared to the last quarter, okay, but the quarter earnings is actually lower compared to the 2024, okay, but the Magnificent Seven company is still doing good, okay, they are still reporting growing all these things. Now, last month I actually mentioned this slide, okay. Now I put this one back again just to remind everyone, okay. Now Warren Buffett have announced he going to step down by end of 2025, and during the last AGM he actually mentioned one very important point, okay. Now Warren Buffett actually give credit to Apple CEO Tim Cook by making a lot more money than Warren Buffett have made for Berkshire Hathaway in the past 50-60 years. Okay, this is what he mean. Out of so many stock that the Warren Buffett buy, sell, and profit, okay, in the last 50-60 years, the money that he make, okay, compounding, is less than the money make when he buy the Apple shares. Okay, and he only buy the Apple share in year 2016, 36 years after Apple IPO. And during this time, during 2016, Apple is already one of the largest stock in the market. So when Warren Buffett buy Apple in 2016, is he too late? Is he too late? He's been late for 36 years. And that time the Apple is one of the largest stock already. Okay, he's already late. But so what? Even he late by 36 years, so what? Okay, he still buy Apple. That time is one of the largest stocks. He still buy them. And during this 10 years, okay, the profit that he make from Apple is more than the total profit he buy from other stocks in the last 50 years. Okay. So what conclusion can we make? Conclusion is, okay, the lesson we can learn is you don't really need to buy small speculative stock to make huge gain. You can also make huge gains investing in established mega cap stocks, and if you buy them under value, okay, And this stock will go undervalue from time to time, okay, when there is a bad news. Okay. Now, since IPO in 1980, Apple already gained 260 times. Okay, before Warren Buffett buy at $26 in 2016. Okay, so you do not really have to buy the stock in the early years to make huge return from it. A stock can already have gained 200 times, can still be a great investment for the long term. Okay, like Apple. Okay, and the third lesson we can learn is we can have many average or losing investment. Okay, like what Warren Buffett have made. Warren Buffett is not very great in picking stock. In fact, he lost some money in many losing stocks, but that doesn't stop him to become one of the greatest investor of all time, because Warren Buffett just need one of few great company, a great runs to achieve extraordinary outperformance, okay, to cover all the losses from all the losing stocks. Okay, we just need one of a few great stocks, okay, to have a strong original outperformance. Okay, so the key is to actually buy great investment long enough for it to compound the portfolio. Okay, now in this case now, what this one is trying to tell you is you don't really need to find all these small little company that is yet to prove themselves. Okay, especially when come to AI, there's a lot of AI stock available. Okay, and most of them as of now are not making any money. Okay, so you don't really need to bet all your money into all these small speculative stock that is not proven. Rather, you should actually put all your capital in those mega cap stock, great company, undervalue, and then hold them, accumulate them, buy them when they are low. Okay, to build your wealth and just hold them for long. Okay, do not sell it away no matter what. Okay, even in the April sell off, just hold it. Okay, and adding it. Okay, so the other thing is we really need to have some spare cash available when for us to take advantage. Okay, during this type of to take the opportunity during this type of sell off. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far? No question? Okay. Now let me share some of the things that I think in the April I share many good stocks. Okay, we just want to buy those great company from the index that holds the index have the greatest holding. Okay, and all these are actually held by many smart money and they're great. Okay, and their fundamental is good. But a lot of company already rally up, okay, in end April and May. For example, Meta, Microsoft. So if you want to buy Meta and Microsoft, they are near the all-time high. So don't really have to chase it. Okay, don't really have to chase it lah. Okay, since it's already at the near the all-time high. Rather, we should actually continue to find good stock is still undervalued. And if you do not have adding any position, you can consider to add. Now, I cannot recommend you to buy or sell. I cannot say very bluntly, okay, to ask you to buy or sell. What I can tell you is all these stocks are great and they are undervalued, and you should consider to add, okay, from when they are still undervalued. Okay, don't wait until Meta, Microsoft ready up already, then you start chasing. Okay, so that's not the teaching. Okay, so some of these stock are still undervalued. Okay, for example, these are the technology stock, and these are the fund top holdings. Okay, now the time I actually recommend you to buy, I don't say recommend lah, ask you to add position for Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom, and Salesforce. Okay, but most of them are already going up. Okay, the one in the purple color. But the Salesforce, okay, still undervalued. Okay, this is what I'm trying to highlight to you. Okay, now Salesforce, the intrinsic value is 318. and currently it's around 264. Okay, so it's undervalued. But the technical, from the technical chart, okay, it's below 200 moving average. Okay, just need to take note. But is it in the downtrend? Not really. Okay, not really. Okay, if it actually found a very strong support around the 240 region, so if the share price continue to retrace here, it's a good time to add. Even though you want to add a little bit here, I think it's still okay. When the share price go down to 240, you can consider to add another tranches. Okay, so Salesforce is still undervalued. The intrinsic value is around 318. But of course, different people have different variation. So you can do your own variation using the Simply Wash Rate, using the Guru Focus. Okay. So my variation is only for your reference. Okay. You don't come back to me if you have any alternate opinions. Okay. So Salesforce is still undervalued. Okay. And unlike Apple, Microsoft, Broadcom have been up a lot. Okay, Salesforce is still having some problem. Okay, with some bad news or whatsoever. Okay, so it's still going down. Okay, it's still, but you might find the support around here, around the 240 and 260. Okay, and you can consider to add along the way. Now the other one is the Amazon. Okay, Amazon is still undervalued. Okay, the intrinsic value for Amazon is 221. The technical chart is now is above the 200 moving average, and short term is the uptrend. Okay, you can see the higher high and higher low. Okay, from the low, but it's so the share price is actually between the low from the April and with the all-time high. Okay, 240. So the share price is still in between. Okay, so there is still a room to move from 205 to 230 or 40. There is still a room for that. Okay, and Amazon is still undervalued. Okay, and so just now that one is from the consumer discretionary sectors. Okay, the third sector that recover is communication. So Meta already near the all-time high. It's already up too much already. We don't chase. But the other one we can consider is it is Google. Okay, the intrinsic value for Google is 223, and technical chart is below, slightly below 200 moving average. And short term, there's an uptrend here, and it's very near the resistance. Okay, now the Google is quite similar to the Amazon. Okay, is the share price is in between from the April low to the all-time high 200. Okay, so there's the room for Google from 160 something to go to 200. Okay, very likely by end of the year it will achieve that. Okay, so the other sector is the healthcare. Remember just now in the beginning of the slide, I shared that healthcare is the only sector that never recovered, okay, in the past 1 month, okay, because it's being brought down by a few stocks, okay. One of them is the United Health, okay. Even the Eli Lilly haven't, and Johnson and Johnson haven't really recovered back to his normal, okay. And United Health have been down almost 60% to the lowest, okay? But now it recovered a little bit, okay? Currently it's around $300, okay? But the intrinsic value for United Health is around 460, okay? Technical is in the downtrend. Now, United Healthcare have been going through a lot of bad news, okay? The CEO being murdered, then there's a fraud case, and there's many other bad news, okay? But some of these bad news are not verified or confirmed. For example, during the last sell down, okay, the accused, okay, the accused to the United Health, and this news is denied by the United Health, meaning is until today haven't verified. But because of that bad news, the stock went from 380 down to 200 plus, from here to here, okay, from from here to here, okay. So it came down again because of this unverified news. Now, if you really, now whether we want to invest in a company, we should really ask ourselves a questions, okay? Is all these bad news temporary, or is actually a serious problem affect the entire structure of the entire company, affect the fundamental of this company. Okay, so far all these bad news don't really affect the fundamental of the entire company structures, the fundamentals. It's only even the even the fraud case from certain division, certain department. Let's say it's guilty or whatsoever. What's the worst case? Do you ask yourself what's the worst case? If all this going to court sue case, all these are being true. Let's say worst case is being true. And what's the worst case? The most United Health just pay maybe 1 or 2 billion, okay, as a fine or whatever. Okay, am I right? That's the worst case. What? How worse can it be? The American will not close down the entire UNH just because of one of the departments, right? And 1 or 2 billion paying to the court or whatsoever as a penalty, it's just a peanut compared to a 200-300 billion revenue generated from UNH. Think about it, okay? So fundamentally, this company is still there, okay? But the share price is punished by 50%. Okay. Now, if you think this one is in the downtrend and you fear to enter, then it's really up to you. Okay. Because at this price, $300 is the 5-year low. 5-year low. Okay. Even lower compared to the COVID. Okay. Even lower than the COVID. Okay. So it's really up to you. Okay. You can consider to add a small position if you want to. If you dare to take a risk. And if you go down to 200, then you can consider to add another one. But most likely, United Health is already there already lah. It's already quite bottom already, okay? And the several Congress, okay, from American, the governments, some of the Congress, they already start buying UNH. I forgot to screenshot the things, okay? But you have time, I'll screenshot and put in the Telegram. Okay, some of the Congress already start buying UNH. And they already start selling, okay, UNH before the April. Okay, this is how accurate they actually see the move of UNH. Okay, so probably the UNH is already at the bottom. Okay, but again, I do not have a crystal ball. Okay, I just share to you my observation and my takes. Okay, and my views. So the other company is still punishing down is this MRK. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Okay, the intrinsic value for this company is 216, but technical chart is in the downtrend. So I didn't ask you to buy or sell. I just asked you to actually add this one into your watch list and monitor it carefully because it's undervalued. Of course, the stock may in the downtrend may continue to go down, but we just need to monitor accordingly. Okay. So this one is still in the downtrend, unlike the UNH is kept down to 200 plus, and now the share price is already stabilized. Okay, moving nowhere. Okay, the investor and the thing start accumulating already. Okay, they start accumulating before it break out. Okay, so buy before the breakout. So that's all for me for today.